Good morning. Okay, we are finally in the last leg of the Murli. This is the first time I'm having a Murli class, same Murli for 3 days. It's an experience. Okay, so we stopped at Acha yesterday. So Baba's continuing to such constantly ignited lamps, the true lamps who are themselves the form of light and who dispel the darkness of others. To those who put all four subjects into their practical life at the same time, to such jnani and yogi souls who put the qualifications of the aim of becoming number one in all the subjects into their practical life, to the souls who are embodiments of divine virtues, to the constant service, the elevated world benefactor souls, love, remembrance, namaste from Bapdada. Avyak Bapdada and meeting, Avyak Bapdada meeting groups personally, I think group 1, those who constantly have the sparkle of happiness visible on their face and in their activity are the fortunate ones. Do all of you consider yourself to be souls who always have the fortune of happiness? What would be, right? What would be the sign of those souls who have the fortune of happiness? The sparkle of happiness would be constantly visible in their face and their behavior. No matter what physical act they may be doing, even if it is an ordinary task, the sparkle of happiness should be visible while they perform that task. This is known as the mind dancing in constant happiness. Are you constantly like this? Or do you sometimes remain very happy and at other times a little less? The treasure of happiness has become your own treasure. So your own treasure would be constantly with you, would it not? Or would it only be with you sometimes? Have you made Baba's treasures your own treasures? Or do you forget that they are your treasures? You remember you're always, sorry, am I reading that right? Right. You always remember your physical belongings, do you not? Those treasures are visible with your eyes, but this treasure is not visible with the eyes. You experience it with your heart. So, can you forget anything that you have experienced? At the end of the day, Baba is saying, no matter what anything is happening, if I can just pull back to my attainment and to my relationship with Baba, Baba says at the end of the day, everything feels small, doesn't matter, it's okay. Like, can you forget anything that you have experienced? Always have the awareness that you are the masters of the treasure of happiness. The more you remember your treasure, the more intoxication you will experience. So this spiritual intoxication will give others the experience that you have something valuable. What do the mothers remember all the time? Do you just remember Baba, right? The father? Or do you remember something else too? The happiness of the inheritance would be visible, would it not? Since the whole world for a Brahmin life is the father, what else would you remember except the world? Constantly continue to sing the songs of your elevated fortune in your heart. Would you be able to attain such an elevated fortune throughout the whole cycle? So, right, constantly continue. Would you be able to attain such an elevated fortune throughout the whole cycle? So, out of the whole cycle, what are you able to attain only at this time? The happiness and intoxication of the present time is the most elevated of all. So, do the mothers remember any other relatives? Baba is asking. Mothers always have the concern to serve. Is everyone okay? Does anyone need anything? So, do the mothers remember any other relatives? Is there fluctuation in any of your relationships? Do you feel that attachment there? Has all your attachment finished? Those who say, no matter what happens, I will not have any attachment, raise your hand. Okay, the test paper of attachment can come to you. Baba is asking. And we just have a mother here who became a grandmother recently. So the baby is 3 months old. So she off and on goes to her daughter's house to take care of the baby. She came today and she said, oh, Ben, I keep reminding myself, no, don't get attached to this baby. This is a soul. I am a soul. You are a soul. So she said, oh, Ben, I wish I don't get attached to this baby. But the baby is so cute. That's what she was saying. Okay, the test paper of attachment can come to you. Pandavas are conquerors of attachment, are they not? If there is any fluctuation in your interaction with others, are you conquerors of attachment then? Even now, Maya gives you a paper every now and then. Do you pass in that? Maya gives small exams every now and then. Do you pass in that? Or do you become a little slack when Maya comes? So, continually sing songs of happiness. Do you understand? I sometimes I laugh when I hear the word, do you understand? It's like Baba is asking, do you get it? And then sometimes I would just internalize, Baba, what if I say I don't get it? Would you explain again? Do you understand? No matter what you lose, your happiness should not diminish. No matter in what form Maya comes, your happiness should not diminish. Only those who remain constantly happy to this extent have the fortune of happiness. Acha, Now, what wonder do those from Andhra and Karnataka have to perform? Right? No soul should remain deprived. You have to give the message to each and every soul. Wherever you may be staying, all souls should receive the message. The more you give the message, the more your happiness will increase. Acha. So we finally concluded this Murli. So now we summarize the Murli. So what touched you up to this point from this Murli? We can open up for sharing. Anyone? Vijit Pai, looks like you're the Arjuna in this group. You will have to start first.
Yeah, I will start first and then others
Yeah.
can later on contribute. Yes. So the attachment and the happiness is what I get from this today's part. So we know the attachment is the biggest, the subtle vice that we all have to conquer, right? So I think that is why in Gita also it is very much highlighted. Nashto moha smriti lebda, right? So we feel it is very difficult to understand also, right? What attachment we have unless we do thorough checking. And our
Right.
happiness disappear there, right? Because when there is attachment, there is also other vices will also creep in, like
Right.
expectations and all that, right? So
Right.
um, and we living in this world like in a corporeal world with this body and all that, right? Without getting or taking support from others, I think no, we cannot really complete our life, right? So one or the other way, we'll all have some or the other attachment growing, right? So of course, Baba's teaching, practicing the soul consciousness will definitely help because Brahma, Baba, and Dadis, they all have done it, right? So, what are some of the techniques that we can really apply in order to conquer this attachment and happiness? The connection is only when we have attachment, then there is unhappiness for sure. If not today, then tomorrow definitely it will come, right? So when we become detached, then of course we can really be happy, and that detachment will only work when we have this soul conscious practice, right?
Mm.
So, sister, can you
Mm.
elaborate a little bit on how can we really become conquerors of attachment? Because that is what the last paper is. Baba already mentioned that, right? That
Right.
too, it has to happen in 1 second.
Right. Right. It's funny how you brought up this attachment subject because I was actually contemplating on that today. You know, since morning, I've been having one class after another. And on top of that, there's a lot of construction. There's some renovation, there's some repairing work happening in Bob's house here. So, one side, I'm trying to prepare for the classes. I somehow, today I was reading 4 different Avyakt Murlis for 4 different classes, and including this. And then I was sleepy and I was, just fatigued. And on top of that, the contractors kept coming to ask, certain questions. They need certain parts. And then after a point, because I was also preparing, for the class, after a point, I was like, Baba, I really, really want to give the best. I really, really want to deliver best. But Baba, I just feel so much mental fatigue, body fatigue. Um, and I just cannot concentrate. My eyes keep closing. Baba, what do I do? And still there is so much to prepare. And then I just laid down. I said, Papa, just tell me, what needs to get done. And I just lay down on the sofa for a bit and just, put my head on the pillow. And I just had a realization that came out. It was like a scene. It was like I was, I guess it was my attachment to delivery. And I didn't realize that attachment to being a perfectionist. Anything that I need to do, then I should be doing it the best, not a halfway work. But at the same time, the body is going through, certain changes and the environment, and then just for a few seconds, just the thought of certain incidents that happened, especially during my college days, and how Papa was present. And that was, at the verge, especially there were days when I would be very sick and I have to sit for my finals. And I would be so worried. I said, Baba, I can't even study. I can't concentrate. How am I going to do the finals? And somehow, I would wake up, take medicine, go to the exam hall. My exams used to be 7 a.m. My classes used to start at 7 a.m. And then I would wake up during Amrit Vela and study and then go. And I would think maybe I didn't prepare well. And then I would sit for the exam. And later when the result comes, there's good results. And I remember in one Murli that I read today, Baba said, when your mind is very confused, when there is something disturbing, when there's a lot of waste thoughts, fall back to the attainments that you've experienced. Fall back to a certain relationship you want to see, you want to experience with Baba. And at that moment, when that scene came in my mind, and I realized that Baba has always been there to make sure, yes, things go well, as long as I try my best. And then the rest, I just give it to Baba. Things always fall into place. Things always happen. And just that thought, just give it to Baba. It's Baba's class. It's Baba's Murli. Baba knows best what he even said. I don't need to figure out everything. I said, Baba, teach me during the class, as the delivery is happening, teach me. And that second, all those waste thoughts, just for a moment, just everything dissolved. And I was able to take 10 minutes uninterrupted, quick, powerful nap. And then when I woke up, so many demands were in front of me. Okay, this wasn't fixing, this needs to get worked. There was Zoom issue. As soon as my eyes opened, there was like 5 different things needed my attention. But I felt so free. I was like, okay, let's go. Okay, Baba, thank you for reminding me. I feel that, why our mind, whether you call it attachment, whether it's an ego, it's just a disturbed mind. And why is it the mind will obey to me only when the mind feels safe? That's what I realize. The mind will obey what I'm telling only when my mind feels safe and it feels valued. But my mind will not obey when I'm commanding. I mean, personally, this is my experience with my mind. The mind usually reacts to problem because it feels that there is a sense of loss, what if? And if something is unfair. But if I can fall back to a moment where I could have experienced similar situation and how it turned out well, everything was okay. then it's like I'm telling my mind, don't go into panic mode. Don't stress yourself. Everything's going to be fine. Everything is fine. You remember this incident, how it turned out, what you learned. It's okay. Maybe it's going to be the same this time. You are going to do fine. And the moment I gently spoke to my mind, the moment I gently reminded my mind, it's okay, it's fine. It just, my mind started loosening up. And then I just felt, okay, I'm open to any outcome. I'm open to any results. I know I've done my best. So attachment is because of fear of certain loss, right? We could be attached to an identity that we hold, a certain image, a certain accomplishment, a certain relationship, a certain material. It could be anything. There is a fear of loss. So I hold on to it. What would happen if I lose it? What would happen if it is taken away? So I hold on to it even harder. And that is why the mind is so agitated, because it cannot digest the idea of what if it's not there. But then that is when, again, I remember it's like I felt Baba was really saying, look back at your past attainments. Look back at your past experiences where you have felt such similar tightness in your chest, similar feelings in your mind. How did you go through that? Was Baba there? Did you feel Baba? Maybe even if you've gone through certain failure, maybe things didn't go the way you wanted. But you survived, isn't it? You survived. So don't worry. Either way, it goes north or south. Either way, I'll be okay. Either way, my dear mind, you're fine. You're okay. I've realized a lot of self-talk, a lot of gentle talk to my mind has really helped me a great deal in my journey. So, but not commanding, but just a gentle approach. And then slowly my mind mellows down. So give it a try and see how that works for you.
Yeah, thank you, sister. Yeah, that's really powerful. Yeah, very nice. Good to hear that. Self-talk is very important, right? So that's where we actually really
Absolutely.
grow
Absolutely.
and understand the self more and then go deep into ourself and
Yes.
experience also slowly we get there. Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And as like I said, as spending time in journaling in this last 2 months, I think I've done the most journaling in this last 2 months than I ever did in my entire life. Just writing down my thoughts, trying to figure out about me. And there is one thing, as I traced back and maybe generation, I realized whatever that fear, that jealousy, or that feeling of certain rejection that I have held in me, everything came down to one word. I was just asking Baba, if I were to summarize all these feelings that I'm having, what would be that one word? And that one word came so strong for me in my meditation: abandonment. And I started thinking, well, Baba, I don't think I was abandoned in this birth. I may not have the best childhood, but I don't think I lacked love. But that feeling of abandonment, how come? And I was asking, why does the word feel so right? Even though I couldn't really put it, comprehend how did that happen? But the word felt so right. The moment I heard, the word abandonment came up, it felt something in me shifted. It felt the weight in me, like as if I finally recognized what was the real issue. Then I started working and I started writing letters to me. I started writing more and more letters to me every day, addressing to my mind, addressing to myself, addressing to that 12-year-old of me that went through that incident. But I'm talking to myself and I'm writing a letter. I said, now I get it. Now I see why you reacted that way. Now I see why you felt that way, why you felt rejected, why you distanced yourself from that person, why you felt hurt by what they did. I said, now I get it. I didn't realize you have carried this deep sanskara of abandonment in you for many lifetimes. And I just told, I'm so sorry of what you had to go through many lifetimes ago. I'm so sorry you had to face that, even though I don't know exactly what you went through. But at least I understand now what made you to be who you are now. I said, I don't judge you. I'm just here to give you a lot of love. And I actually wrote all of that in my book, writing to me. I said, now I understand. Now I really just give you a big hug. And I just wanted to let you know you are very, very good and you're very lovable. And the more I started writing, the more and more tears started coming. It's like whatever that did not get resolved then got answered now. Whatever was not received then, it felt I was seeing me, like I was seen. And so then, whatever, waste feelings, or I would say certain feelings or certain strong feelings or reaction that I held to certain souls in my life, it just started melting down, melting down, melting down. And now when I see them or when I talk to them, that heaviness, I don't see there anymore because I finally gave myself what I needed, that closure that I needed. And I felt so good, And this is what I realized. Like I was saying, there's probably many of you needed the closure that you have not had for maybe many lifetimes, but you need to find out what it is. What is it that you have not received, have not experienced in you that is making you to react this way? There's a reason why you react in a certain way. That's the reason why you feel a certain way. But what is that seed that you did not get that made you to react this way? And the more you do this self-talk, the more you do journaling, the more you sit with Baba, Baba's going to show you the way, really. Right? And anyone wants to say something?
When you were sharing about this incident, about you had a lot of strings, you had the contractors coming, you had this work, and then you remember you have a class and you read four different Avyat Murlis, and then you were talking about the Zoom problem. It's just my categorization. I was just thinking, how can we call that as attachment? It's just like giving each of these job a particular, like you're sitting over here, all these are like strings, and the end of the string is in your hand. You should know which string to pull when and which string to let loose and which string should be given importance. If suppose we had that kind of power of what decision making, a kind of power to know I'm not going to get gobbled up. I'm not going to think just because I've had this, I'm going to mess up time. No. I feel if that one thought was said, secondly, I am going to a class. It's not that I'm doing that class, it's he is doing it. So that particular moment, the word of even as when yesterday's Murli, when Baba said, I'm a mehman, he said, so if I think myself, if I have that guest approach over there, but if I think I am the one who have to do all these jobs, the contractor's job, this job, that job, and all, then a question that that class is dependent on me, that contractor is dependent on me, he is dependent on me. So if I sit over there like a king and think I'm the only person over there, I have to get it done, then I think attachment comes. So otherwise, I was just thinking, how can we call that as attachment? And sometimes, Baba always, he says attachment is equal to mothers, ego is equal to Pandavas. I agree. You know why? Because mothers have that nurturing quality. It's a mother who keeps that in womb the child who's fed through her. So naturally, the question of the one which was within my body has just come out and I've given, and so that attachment is bound to be there because of the nurturing quality of a mother. That is natural, that cannot be done. Once, of course, once when a child comes out, if suppose, and you cannot say, she cannot say that she was instrumental. Now nurturing a mother and all that is deep maternal instinct, which when you're really a mother and all, no, you're bound to understand. But it's only when she puts her 24 by 7 on the child, doesn't allow the child to grow, to sit, to do what you want, says, no, this is what is the thing to be done. The child cannot grow. But to see, it doesn't happen like that in real life. Example, when a child is walking, has to learn walk, what does the mother do? She holds the child, catches the finger, and then takes both the hand up. Now you walk. So I sometimes ask Baba, it's not necessary. Mothers always have to have attachment. It's only care I like to use. So we have to know the difference between love and attachment. So when love is there, there will be no attachment. There will be only happiness. That see, that person is able to do on her own. So I think that I don't want to use the word detachment. I can use the word independency if it is given. So actually, there was a very big murli on this. I don't remember when on where Baba really classifies between love, detachment, and disinterest. So I was just little thinking that, of course, I agree. The final point about that Smriti Vallabha at the end attachment is that one. For that, I always remember Suraj Bhai, I think. He gave an example, final moment. You're on the road. You can see destruction everywhere. Everywhere destruction. You can see people hitting, killing each other. And as you're running with your child over there. And when you're running, suddenly somebody comes and he comes to, if that moment, if you say, oh my child, otherwise we saying we will not be seen at all, we will be invisible. But when you look at your child and say, oh, this is my child, so that universality has gone, then you will be seen as a human being, that person will attack you and go. So that is just given for the final moment to see if from now on, if you don't do that kind of dependent on something or somebody, oh, my car, distraction, I'll run after the car. I don't know. I just felt that was what I feel one should look at attachment and all. But I had a question about this Deepavali. Uh, that was the first thing. See, this Deepavali, we know Baba always says there's no Deepavali in Satyug. There's only the coronation ceremony, and that's when crackers and all are given, lights are lit, the thing is given. So that in one of the Murli, when I said, I really was saying, oh, all this is. I used to think Deepavali used to be a thing of lights even in Satyug. So here, but Baba is giving, instead of igniting lamps, the bulbs are better because the population has increased. It was something very a technological issue Baba had given. I like that. And can you just say like what is this Deepavali which Baba has mentioned? I a little missed that when you were reading, but that attracted me. No flames, but bulbs are better and all. So this concept of Deepavali, if suppose because for us, Deepavali is a very special festival. But the day when Baba said there's no Deepavali in Satyug and all, I lost interest in that. Can you just say what is your throw on this Deepavali?
About what? About whether we celebrate Deepavali in Satyuk? Is that the question? Whether we are celebrating there or not?
No, yeah, what Baba intends to give in that particular paragraph. See, this one part really took me off when he said, see, I love lighting a lamp. But Baba is saying, no, that's fairy bulbs, so much more are there. Population is increasing. So many more bulbs can be lit than times of putting oil and wick and all. That I was dwelling on that part. I was saying Baba's touching some technology issue where we all love, that light, that wick, making the wick sharp, putting the oil, and then lighting, and to see that fire, light, is really
Right.
very soft. That's a lovely process. I used to always
Excellent.
like that process, but here Baba is saying fairy bulbs. Suddenly he just went. I didn't understand that part, if you can see.
Okay. Yes. Let me just read that line that you mentioned. Baba says, that is why nowadays, instead of lighting many earthenware lamps, people light small fairy bulbs. If lamps are ignited, the number would be fewer, right? Each earthen lamp. However, your population is very large. So, in remembrance of all of you, many tiny little bulbs are lit. So, you are celebrating your own memorial. When you see the lamps, do you think that those are your own memorial? I guess when Baba was talking about this fairy bulbs, I was just remembering the Christmas lights, tiny, tiny lights in one string, just with one switch, that many lights are lit compared to the earthen lamp where you need to light. Of course, it's a beautiful process, very traditional and with a lot of care and, with a lot of I would say definitely a lot of care and attention is given on lighting that compared to just this one switch and one plug and mass lightning. For me, I just felt again, it's my own churning. Those days when the numbers were small, there were more, you were able to give more attention, to the students. You gave even Baba was able to give definite attention to specific people. Then when the numbers increased, now it may not be realistic to give everyone individual attention. Now it's like the mass growth, right, in people in big numbers. So it's like a wholesale service. Like how Baba said, in the end, people will not have that capacity to listen through your words. People just need that instant vibration to feel that upliftment. So, because everything is happening in mass, everything is happening so fast that you just cannot give that individual attention. Not to say that we don't want to, but it's just that my vibration, my presence has to be so strong that individually people start feeling whatever that they needed, they received. So I just feel how Baba is encouraging us now, take service to a different level, take my stage to another level, and keep my vibration to another level. I feel that's what Baba is mentioning. Personally, also, that's an experience coming to the center here, coming from Malaysia, which is like the East, and then here coming to the West. Culturally, it's very different. And practices are also slightly different. And back when I came 23 years ago here in the center, a number of souls were less, but then there was more that personal connection and interaction with souls. And back then also souls also had that immense strength in them to hold this knowledge and that yoga power. And then when slowly more and more students started coming, more and more and more, and especially when COVID hit, and we went on Zoom, just so many souls, sporadic growth. And then now it's just that the care that we were able to give back then, that individual care, not to say we are not doing that now, but then now has to go a different level. Back then I would individually call souls and check on them and how they are doing. Now I do make calls, but it's just there are so many people. So sometimes instead of making that individual calls, let's say we don't see some students, like a family member calling and say, how are you doing? How's everything? It's been a while since we saw you in the class. Is everything okay? And then I always check, if there is any seva, then do let me know. So then there is that personal touch, personal communication that have, rather than just students come, teach, and then I detach. No, I do make calls, make a personal connection with everyone, like a family. Now, what I do is that when I'm sitting in meditation, I just, I said, okay, Baba, let's just, whoever you want to serve, Baba, I'm here, I'm present. Is there anyone that you feel we need to reach out to personally today? Now I check on Baba, who should we reach out to personally today? Who is going through what? Who needs some gentle touch or communication? And then some souls, they just come in the mind. Certain souls, they just cross my mind. And then what I do, later in the day, then I just give them a call, say, how are you doing? And it's just so happened that that soul could be in a particular state, could be going through something. They are remembering Baba, or they are remembering the sisters or the center so much, they're not able to come. And they start crying, they start feeling very emotional. Oh, how did you know I was remembering? I said, well, you were remembering Baba and Baba touched. So I feel that now service, it's more of just stepping up, having a bird's view, connecting with Baba. Okay, Baba, let's reach out. Let's do a wholesale reach out. And things happen suddenly.
I like the analogy. So Baba likes what I think is the hose pipe thing. You know what is the hose pipe service? You cannot go and wash everything. Put all your vessels in front. Just take a hose pipe, let the water run through it. That's a
Right.
lazy maid. They say a lazy maid. See, there's a difference in washing each part of the vessel or using a hose pipe and doing. There's a difference. Probably, I think your Baba now wants us to do the hose pipe. But still, I don't know, being brought up in India and being South Indian, that traditional thing of, I know it's a big process. That analogy, like, there's no time now. Okay. Okay, just one last question. When do Brahmins celebrate Diwali? Because Baba is giving here. So it was a funny question. The real date, those people are fixing some, and that it's so beautiful why Diwali comes at that particular moment, and Narakasura, or so many people give different stories. But if you read the astrological thing of why Diwali comes, it's absolutely different. But now today, Baba has made a statement. The real date for Diwali is when you Brahmins celebrate it. Can you tell me what is the real date? Other than coronation, because there is no Brahmin, that is deities.
Fine. I think what Baba is really saying, more than the date, it's the final. I guess it's the state, consciousness, when there's that unity And Baba says your perfection, your final form, your final consciousness, and when you come as one. I really feel when Baba's talking about the date, it's not really a date, but that moment where I have, achieved a certain progress, that I would really say that perfection or the completion. So Baba says that is the real Diwali date. It's a certain moment. Like even right now in Brahmin family, there are definitely a lot of division. There are definitely a lot of Baba's one. We are in one umbrella, but even then, there is still some lack of harmony. Everyone is doing something. Baba says when we come together as a big force, as a harmonious force, Baba says big change can happen. And maybe, again, it's my churning. You may have a different churning.
Even here, see that capital letter B Brahmin. Baba plays with these capital letters. F father, small f means Brahma, big F means myself. There, even he becomes capital. Here also, he gives you capital B for you Brahmins. And for the others, he says, okay, there are in fixing date, those Brahmins only have to do. That's what I said. Those Brahmins who do it, they have a particular standing a premise, they can explain to you why it falls on such a day, that Amavasya day, or that's a astrological calendar which they have. So that's what, because that one, see, probably I was more in the devotional thing, and I think I have done all this. That's why whenever Baba comes with these devotional thing, I always, maybe just
Mm,
to clarify what I did, I'm
right,
asking that
right,
capital, you must be Baba, capital B and small b also is included. Thank you, sister.
right. One unity, one force, one family coming together. Baba says that's when you will reveal Baba. That's when the energy of the family, energy of the group surpasses the vibration of the world. So that's our Diwali. First, let's harmony. Let's create harmony within. Then we can create harmony with us, and then we all can come together. That's our moment, right? So we are good. Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. We were riding on this Murli for 3 days, and now our journey is concluded today. So there's a lot of pointers, a lot of depths. So even if we just take one point and we bring our focus, our attention to it and practice, it's going to give birth to many, many other, success, many other transformation in life. So good luck in practicing this Murli. How whichever point that touched you, go ahead, go full force, practice that in your life. Okay? Yeah, good. Vijit Bhai or Rakhi Ben, we are good.
Yes, and um, Venuben, that was really powerful when you shared about how you broke the pattern of your thoughts.
Mm,
And that's quite practical, when you keep writing and writing, I think everything pours out.
yeah.
So there were a lot of things learning. And with that, we invite you for a short meditation before we close the class.
Okay. So let's sit comfortably. Now, just for a few moments, look at Baba's picture in front of you. And as you see Baba, recollect back what we heard in this Murli. One point that deeply moved you, touched you, that you felt Baba spoke directly to you? What is that one point? Just take a moment, find that one point that Baba spoke directly to you from this Murli. Then that is the point. Baba is personally asking me to focus. And Baba is there to give me all the power, all the answers that I would need to continue practicing this point. And always let me keep this image that I'm standing beside Baba and Baba's holding my right hand as if as a companion. Wherever I go, whatever I do, whatever I face, I'm doing it with Baba. Even if I'm weak, my companion is smart. My companion is strong. He can support me well. So let me, with this image, with this guarantee, let me take that one step that maybe I have not taken up till now. That one step of courage. What is that one step? I will do it starting right now. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Venuben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.